Good morning, stock traders, and welcome back to Stock Traders Talk Radio. I'm your host, StockSumo. Thanks for joining us on another freaky, fantastic Friday, August 17th, 2012. And you know what time it is, folks. It's time to top off your cup of coffee here with Stock Traders Talk as we get ready to rock and look through the markets, wrapping up another hot week. So open up your charts, turn on your scanners, and fire up those trading accounts. Joining us on this morning's program is Cifi. Aloha, Cifi.
Aloha, Sumo. Good to be here with you on this Freaky Friday.
Glad to have you back, bud.
Had to get one freaky in there for you, my man.
Oh, yeah. I'm excited to wrap up another hot week. It's been a phenomenal week here, and I think we're going to end it on another good note.
Yes, sir. I'm ready.
Apple looking ready, too. Gapping up here this morning. I'm super pumped up. Friday's always a successful day playing these weekly calls. If you haven't followed us playing these Apple weekly calls in the past, hang on tight because we're going to go for a ride today. This thing's gapping up. Looks like it wants to open around 640. Yesterday it closed around the high of day. The high of day was about 636.75. It closed at about 636.25, so it was about 50. See, up trade mark 30 was the high here pre-market. Sometimes when we see these large gaps, so we're just going to keep an eye on it.
You having some connection issues over there, my man?
Yeah, it looks like I was floating in and out, but I should be okay now.
Right.
Bear with us, folks. Sometimes the internet isn't always our friend. Looks like we got a caller on the line. Why don't we see what this caller wants to talk about? We'll bring him on. Hello, caller. You're
Hello.
live on the air. How you doing?
Pretty good. How about yourself?
I'm doing great. Good morning.
Good morning to you too. It's looking like a good Friday.
Absolutely. What do you have a tag on iHub?
Yes, I do. My tag is the Subflyer 8. That's the name I go by.
Subflyer 8?
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, we just like to have our callers, if we can identify with them. That's always great. Are you a new listener to the show?
Yeah, actually, I recently started listening to the show quite a bit. I'm in Mike the Pike Productions. I'm heavily involved in that. I have about 6 million shares in that. And I've had him since about 0002. So.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
Quite a while.
Congratulations.
Yeah, it's great games.
What a run, huh?
Yeah, and I'm actually still holding them. I'm going to be holding them probably in silver, maybe, probably like dimes or so.
Sounds good. What do you got to talk about this morning other than that?
Well, anyways, today I wanted to bring to the attention a company that has taken over another stock symbol. The old company was crap, so to speak, but the new company that's taking over is MIHL. It's the new ticker symbol. It happened the end of last month. And they're looking at having, almost $1 billion funding. About $750 million in E-bonds are about to be signed over. And that's huge. Right now it's trading at 1 penny. It's MIHL again. And the board members are amazing. And on iHub, Dr. Evgeny Husid actually posts and keeps everyone up to date. They're pretty transparent already and looking at having audited financials as we speak. Don't mind the skull and crossbones. It's actually from the previous company. and they're working to take care of that too, but they're looking to get all the filing and registration done so they can be a broker-dealer as well. So there's a lot on. I just want people to check out MIHL. The ask is super thin all the time. I mean, we're talking 5 to 25K shares, so it's really easy.
Outstanding. That's great. We appreciate you calling in and sharing your stock ideas with us. Do you have anything else that you'd like to talk about while we have you?
Someone brought to the attention ASYI. I know there's been a lot of speculation as to how the no bid has been working out because it's kind of hard to compare it to anything else. Some person actually decided that they would post the E's that, for the financials, companies who didn't, aren't up to date. ASYI does not have E. So at this point, if they don't have E, that means they're probably looking at a merger or a buyout, a reverse merger, for the NOLs. So I just want to put that out there. That was a major development that happened this morning. It has no E.
Okay, cool. Great. Appreciate it. Outstanding.
But anyways, those are the big things, and I appreciate you guys letting me talk.
Hey, man,
Absolutely.
call in anytime. Appreciate the info.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Sorry, there's a delay.
Oh, no worries, man. Hey, happy trading today on Friday, and ring that cash register, my man.
All right, awesome. You too. Thanks. Bye.
Have a great weekend.
You too.
Cool. Good stuff. Well, hey, anybody else listening, if you want to give us a shout, we're always excited and encouraged to hear from our listeners. The call-in number is 347-215-7181. Again, that call-in number is 347-215-7181. And we have a new service out there for those of you tuning in. We have a text message service. And if you'd like to get on our text message service, it's pretty easy. All you have to do is text STT Radio. That's STT, stands for Stock Traders Talk. STT Radio. Text that to, I believe it's 9900. Let me just find this number real fast. You wouldn't happen to know it off the top of your head, would you, Cifi? I'm over here touting our new service.
No, sorry, Sumo.
Here, let me see if I can pull it up real quick. Nope, can't find it. All right, we'll get back to that later in the show. Anyways, why don't we talk about what was hot yesterday? And the first one I want to bring up is AAPT. All American Pet Company, Inc. Going to pull up the chart. And we've been talking about this one quite a bit lately. Notice, looking at the chart, you can see all these indicators are looking rather strong. The accumulation and distribution continues to climb. The RSI also continuing to climb. Looks like that RSI is heading into the power zone. Currently the RSI is at 70.28. Anything between 70 and 90 is considered the power zone. Notice the last few times AAPT RSI got in the power zone, the stock broke out. So it'll be interesting to see how she continues to trade as the RSI creeps up into the power zone. Notice yesterday it opened at the low of day, closed near the high of day, very strong. Yesterday, key thing about yesterday's trading session, broke above the 50 and 100-day moving averages. What happens when we see these stocks break above these moving averages? Usually they go for a wild ride, and what prompted us to be ready for this ride was it broke above the 20-day moving average earlier this week. So we saw it setting up. Notice the last time AAPT broke above the 20-day moving average was back here in March, and it went on a heck of a run from 001, 002 range broke through that 20-day moving average right here, got above the 100-day and the 200-day and didn't look back, all the way up to 8 cents, almost 8 cents, 0.795 to be exact. So we saw the consolidation. It held support right off of that 200-day moving average, dipped below it for a couple trading sessions, but bounced right back. And that key break above the 20-day moving average was right here. That signaled us to put it back on the watch list, and now we got above the 50 and 100-day. So it should be exciting to see this one wrap up the week. Should see some strong activity out of it. Notice the volume bars have been increasing. That's always a nice sign. You got the blue bars on the histogram stacking up to the bullish side. That's a good sign. Notice that PPO crossed through the 50-day moving average after having a crossover. PPO lines are showing separation. Very strong there. Slow stow, cranking up in the power zone. So all in all, AAPT chart is looking strong. We want to keep this one on watch into next week, no question about it. And we'll go over to the scanner now, see what we got trading pre-market. Pre-market trades, we got Nokia. It's looking like it's having another bounce this morning. Up almost 5% on over 1 million shares traded. We also got Vringo gapping up 4%. That's VRNG. Trading 158,000 shares pre-market. Last at 337. What else we got here? PSTI. This one's been hitting the pre-market scanner a lot lately. PSTI is up another 7% here this morning. Last traded at $5.10. ALU. I had mentioned this one yesterday pre-market when we saw it gapping up. ALU is gapping up again today to the tune of 2.5% on almost 200,000 shares traded. Now let's go over to the chart on ALU, and I'll show you why I was talking about this one yesterday. And there is a key gap to fill on this chart. So going back here, you can see the gap down right in the beginning of May, end of April area. The stock gap down from about $2 range down to about $1.70-ish. And then there's another gap down right here, and it fell from about $1.30 range down to the dollar range. So we saw it consolidate after the gap down, found that support off of 99 cents, and boom, she got above that 20-day moving average. Yesterday we had a slight gap up. Today we're seeing a slight gap up. It looks like it's filling this gap right here. Now, if ALU can get some legs and get running north, and it can get through these other resistance points, which are at the 100-day moving average, that's $1.56. If it can get through that, and it can get through this $1.67 range, chances are we could see it fill this other gap to $1.98. Just something to think about in the months ahead. We're already seeing it fill this gap. So just something to think about. Keep it on watch. We got it on our watch list, so you should have it on yours as well. Okay. Good stuff. Apple pre-market trades going off at 640. Wow. It's going to be exciting. This is going to be a fun day today. I can sense it. The weekly calls expire at the end of the day, and on Fridays they tend to be the most volatile. You just don't want to be stuck holding it in the close because they expire and they're worthless. So we'll be looking at those weekly calls. You want to look at the 640, the 635, and the 630 calls. Maybe even the 645 calls if Apple gets above 640 and wants to continue to break out. Want to do a little recap on yesterday's momentum play of the day that we caught on the scanner. That's VLNX. We set our pre-market scanners and take a look at volume, see what's trading pre-market volume. Yesterday we caught VLNX off of our pre-market scanner, and it was trading at 12 cents. The stock ended up trading some big block trades when we were watching the level 2, and we saw VLNX climb from 15 all the way past 30 cents yesterday. So it was a big day for that VLNX. Had a lot of volume flowing through the stock. Not sure what it's going to do today, but man, what an amazing run from yesterday. PPHM is hitting my scanner here pre-market. Now here's another stock that's been on a wicked run, and it's had a recent consolidation, and it's looking like it's bouncing here, gapping up 3.5%. Last traded at $2.94. Big Bake in the chat rooms telling us that the pre-market action is looking good so far. That S&PX looking ready to break out today. Just want to convey his thoughts for us. We got 12 minutes to the bell. See if there's anything hitting the penny scanner. Nothing yet. Usually stocks don't start hitting the penny scanner until about 3-4 minutes before the bell. Ford having a little gap up. Only 0.5%, but it is in the green. Definitely keeping an eye on Ford. Let's pull up a chart on this bad boy. Okay, so Ford coming nicely off of its bottom here. 52-week low of $8.78. Notice we got above the 20-day moving average here, and it's been holding above that 20-day, making higher highs and higher lows. We're at a key resistance level at the 50-day moving average, which is at $9.58. It's been trying to get over that 50-day moving average. It'll be nice to see if it can get above this 50-day and hold as support. The next key resistance will be the 100-day moving average at $10.35. Looking at all the indicators, they're looking pretty good. Accumulation and distribution has been on a decline, but it looks like we're at a bottom, and the accumulation distribution is fighting to come off that bottom. I'd like to see the accumulation distribution turn up and get through the 50-day moving average. The RSI is coming off of being oversold. That recently got above that 50 DMA, also got through the 50 line. I like how the RSI keeps climbing north. Looks like it's heading into the power zone. Moving down, you can see the PPO had a crossover right here. That's a bullish signal. Another bullish signal was when the PPO passed through the 50-day moving average. Blue bars on the histogram are positive, so very bullish signs. Got the slow stow up in the power zone. I'm digging this action on Ford. I think this is a great company long term. These guys didn't take bailout money. You know, I was always partial to GM myself. Ever since years ago when GM took the bailout money from the government, I've been more partial to Ford. Ford has done a heck of a job with improving their product line, and the fact that they didn't take bailout money said a lot to me. And now the stock is starting to bounce off of its 52-week low. I think, in the weeks, months ahead, we could see the stock make a move back over $10 and maybe move back up to $12, $13 where it was earlier this year. Little pharmaceutical company gapping up this morning. IDIM. X, gapping up 5%, 268 trades. Last traded at $6.11. That's IDIX. Okay, we got 8 minutes till the bell. If anybody wants to call in, they're more than welcome to give us a shout. You can see the call-in number if you're in the chat room right above the chat. That call-in number is 347-215-7181. Apple holding strong here pre-market. Gapping up. Looks like it's going to open around 640. We were looking at the 640 calls yesterday, which closed at 66 cents. It'll be interesting to see where they open that up this morning. Definitely going to be a nice gap up there. Anytime I see a big gap up, if I'm long a position, I instantly like to take some money off the table and take some profits. Chances are you see a gap up, there might be a little bit of a pullback and a dip to slightly fill the gap or fill the gap. And by taking those profits and locking those profits in out of the gate, you can't go wrong sometimes. On the flip side, sometimes you see a gap up and the stock might gap up and just run and never look back. But in most cases, when I've seen these stocks gap up, I see them tend to pull back a little bit within the first 15 minutes of the bell. See if anything's triggering on the penny scanner yet. We got CHMR triggering the penny scanner this morning. That's ticker symbol Charlie, Harry, Michael, Robert. Chimera Energy. Only 13,000 shares traded this morning. That's on 5 trades. Last traded at 70 cents. And that's a loss of 12.5%. It's down 10 cents this morning pre-market. So what are we looking at today, folks? We're looking at Apple like we do every Friday. We take a look at the weekly calls, and I'm going to be looking at the 630, 635, because those ones are going to be in the money. And I'm also going to be looking at the 640 and 645 weekly calls. So just to get an idea on what those were trading at yesterday, the 630 calls closed at $6.70. The 635 calls closed at $2.75. The 640 calls closed at 66 cents. And the 645 calls closed at 10 cents. Macca Jordan in the chat room asking about BBDA. What's up with BBDA? Well, clearly BBDA has been an absolute beast. Yesterday we saw it consolidate a little bit, pulled back to about a 012 range where it found support, and ended up closing pretty strong, closed in the green. Cifi, you got any thoughts that you want to share about BBDA?
Can't say that I do, besides congratulations to those people out there that have followed us from day one. We've been bullish, never got bearish. If I was a financial advisor, I would be moving it to a hold at this point, though. That's just me. Good thing I'm not a professional financial advisor, but man, what a run. Parabolic, to say the least. Not saying she ain't going higher, but I would like to see a consolidation. You don't want anything going straight up. We want a staircase, and keep your eyes on all those moving averages, because Look at any stock when it breaks on a weekly chart through the 20, or even on a daily for that matter. It's a good sign. That's about all I got on BBDA.
All right, I'm going to pull up the chart on KMAG. We got Mecca Jordan asking about KMAG as well, wondering what we think about KMAG. Well, this is another one. It's been on a roller coaster run. You can see back here from February to April, had that big move from 0003, 0006, hit a high of 0231. Big multi-bagger. And notice at that time, we had some golden cross action. 20-day moving average came through and crossed through the 100-day. The 50-day moving average came through and crossed that 100-day. And both of these ended up coming through and crossing through the 200-day. Shortly after the 20-day crossed that 200-day moving average, the stock began to consolidate and lost support after it broke below these moving averages. Recently, we've seen it get back above the moving averages, and we got the golden cross formation setting up again. You got the 20-day cutting through the 200 and the 100-day moving averages. Now you got the 50-day coming through that 200-day moving average. I'd like to see the 50 keep climbing north, get above the 100-day. If we do see a pullback on KMAG, I'd like to see it hold support off of these moving averages. Key support is going to be the 20-day at 0091. So far, we've been making higher highs and higher lows here recently after exploding off of a consolidation period. Looking at the PPO, this line looks like it wants to cross right here, which is going to be a bearish cross. If it was me, I'd be sitting on the sidelines waiting for a little consolidation. Notice the blue bars on the histogram are starting to diminish, and it looks like they're going to flip over to the bottom side. The last time these blue bars on the histogram flipped over, diminished, and went to the negative side, that's when we've seen this pullback happen. So I'd like to see these blue bars on the histogram stay positive. That's going to be one tall tale sign of, that this thing can still have some legs. If we see these blue bars on the histogram flip to the negative side, then I would be waiting patiently till they turn back around and flip to the positive side. So those are my 2 cents on KMAG. We just tell it how we see it. And we're getting ready to go here. Market's about to blow. Apple cranking up here this morning over 640. This is going to be an exciting day, folks. Hang on, be ready. We're going to go for a ride. Oh, they just dipped it hard, 638. And those 640 calls open at $1.65. They were as low as 66 cents into the close yesterday. They're at $1.60 right now. Don't mind me if I get a little quiet on you. I'm just going to be trying to trade some options.
That was nice.
You lock in them profits, big boss?
Yep, just to watch it take off and run higher. But you know how we do. Look at this thing go beast mode. Unreal. Good stuff.
Wow.
Remember that 52-week high is 644. That's just amazing. After the earnings, you've seen this thing sell off. We told everybody this was a dip and rip, and that's what she did, man. What a great buying opportunity that was. Wow. Unbelievable.
VLNX getting hit hard out of the gate this morning, down 13%. AAPT looking like it wants to keep moving up here. Broke through yesterday's high a day. Currently we're at 39 by 394. And I did not get any Apple calls. I missed the boat. I missed the train. I'm waiting for a pullback. What an awesome open, though. It gapped up to 640. They pulled it back to 638.81, and it ran as high as 641.82. Currently, Apple's at 641.25. Wow, those 640 calls were as low as $1.32 this morning. They're up to 208 after closing at 66 cents yesterday, folks. What's a good position to get VLNX? I have no idea. Yesterday was a good day to get in that thing. We caught it on the scanner pre-market. It made its run. We're standing on the sidelines now. HOMS making a big move today, up 435% this morning. Last traded at 03 cents. AAPT looking strong here.
Never ceases to amaze me how fast these options move. From $1.32 to $2.91, and now back to $2.10. And Apple, on the other hand, has let's see what Apple swung from 638 to 641. It's nuts. Straight up nuts. Now we're looking at 230. I think Apple wants to go check out its 52-week high. What do you think, Sumo?
I agree with you wholeheartedly. We got the new iPhone coming out. A lot of good things happening with the company. They're always improving their products. And looking like it wants to go to a new high a day here soon. Back over 641. Sumo still sitting on the sidelines. I didn't quite get the pullback that I was hoping for. This thing may not pull back below 640 again. It's definitely holding strong. And I'm looking on the 1 minute chart, and the slow stow is getting ready to cross over here. And if this slow stow crosses over, it's going to be a very bullish sign. Apple holding well above all the moving averages. Looking good here. Yep, that slow stow is kissing, getting ready to cross. And here comes the cross on the slow stow. Boom. Here we go. Apple looks like it's going to break out to new highs. Slow stow's crossing over. We got a member in the chat room asking about GYST. We played it into last trading session. We caught this one on our scanner last week when it was sub-penny. Had a monster run. It was a good bouncer yesterday. Looks like it's tanking today. After yesterday's bounce play, we said that we've been sitting on the sidelines waiting for a consolidation and a pullback, and we're seeing that today. I'm just going to be sitting on the sidelines for now. The volume's drying up, and it definitely had its nice run already. Low volume today, only 1.3 million shares traded in comparison to yesterday's volume, which was over 20 million. MJNA We're being asked about that one. Is that still in play? Well, if you were hip to the CEO interview back 2 weeks ago or a week and a half ago, whenever we did that, that was another good one. It was around 3 cents. And it had a nice move. So right now we're in a consolidation period. We're just kind of sitting on the sidelines. Apple is where we're at. Apple holding above this 640 here. Hit a high of 641.82. Making a little pullback here. Let's see if it holds above 640. Cifi's drinking coffee. That's what he's drinking this morning. Same with Sumo. What about you, poor boy? What are you drinking this morning? VLNX taking a bath this morning, down 40%. APDN, that's the one to keep on your watch list, folks. I put it in our message board yesterday. It had a big day, broke above the moving averages, and today APDN's up another 15%. Last traded at 076. Excuse me. Let's trade 079, 528,000 shares traded, 25 trades on the day. HOMS, Homeland Security, hit my scanner. Must be some type of promotion or something on this one. It's up 471%. I'm not sure if I got any emails on this or not. Oh, yep, there it goes. Got some emails on it. Figures. LQMT, liquid metal, making a little move today, up 10%. Okay, let's run down the spectrum of calls for Apple. The 630 calls are currently trading at 1085. The 635s are at 625. The 640 calls are trading at 227, 230. And the 645s are at 48 cents. Let's see what they do today. Macca Jordan, you must be a new member here. You're asking questions about all these old plays that we've been covering for weeks. You know, usually they make their big runs, and after they run, we just kind of sit on the sidelines and wait for a consolidation and wait for the bounce. So that's where we stand, especially after some of these runs are, multi-100%. We've seen it with HIMR. It ran from 0006 all the way up to 0026 within a couple of days. Now it's time to sit on the sidelines, watch the dust settle, and wait for the bounce. Apple chugging right along here, back above 641. Those 635 calls are now up to 645. They hit a high of day of 695. Got my eye on AAPT. It's had a big move over the past week, and it's holding those gains. It's holding higher highs and higher lows. This morning they hit a high of 0395. Yesterday's high was 0389. The low on the day for AAPT is 037. So higher highs, higher lows, that confirms the bullish uptrend. If it can break through this resistance at 039 and 4 cents, it looks like the next resistance on the level 2 is 0475 and 05. Apple chugging along here. Looks like it wants to test a new high of day. And the 635 calls just broke the high of day. $7 up on the ask. You guys want multi-baggers, gotta keep an eye on Apple options. Fridays, the weekly calls are super volatile because they expire. In case you're new to options, you're not familiar with them, that's okay. I'm new to options game myself, only been doing it for a couple of months, and I'll tell you what, in those couple of months, I've learned a heck of a lot trading alongside Cifi. He's one of the best options traders I've ever met, and we've been following these Apple calls week in and week out. Every Friday, they tend to make multi-bagger percentage gains. You just have to time it right, and you got to be on the right side of the fence. You want to follow the trend. If Apple is in an uptrend, you want to go with the calls. If Apple is trading in a downtrend, go with the puts. But most cases, Apple's in an uptrend. This thing, it's like its own country. It trades like its own currency. Love it.
Buy that dip, sell that rip.
GRNE, that's the little triple O lotto play that's moving up our scanner again today. Had a big volume day yesterday. Looks like some of that momentum is carrying into today. I know that this one's on promotion, so just keep that in mind. HLNT, Highline Technologies, up 10% today on over 6 million shares traded. HLNT looking good. We're keeping an eye on these 640 calls. Apple looking like it wants to test a new high a day here.
Apple looks like it's about ready to break out.
Yeah, you got the slow stow getting ready to cross over again here.
Call that a bull flag. Break out of that high a day. Do it with some volume. No looking back, man. Stops in place. Follow that 20 MA, 50 MA. If you haven't been following Apple, she's almost textbook on the way she acts over the last, I'd say, a year and a half. Before that, Apple's always been a beast. Nobody can deny that. But over the last year and a half, she has just became a day trading vehicle. With like Sumo said, the trend is your friend, and the trend is north.
And we see it time and time again. When we see Apple close at or near the high of day,
we call her Gapple.
Day, that's right. We don't call her Gapple for nothing, folks.
Yes, sir.
She just broke the high of day here. Here we go.
And anybody that's not real familiar, this 640 call trading here at this 280 level, there's a lot of premium in this. I mean, could be more premium. I mean, actually, it's actually not too bad. You're looking at Apple at 642. This thing's $2 in the money. It's at 297, so you got a buck premium in there. But one thing you can count on, if this Apple goes to 645, this thing's trading at $5 plus. So even from $3 here, you're looking at a nice gain. So, you always got to refer back to the stock at hand, the underlining to, either way you're speculating, but you just speculate where you think she's going to go and see how many points you can get pushed in the money. That's what you're looking for, is you want that option to go in the money. Then you're making cash.
Yeah, that's when those profits really start to stack up.
Yeah, you see a lot of people speculating too far out. The stock will move 12%. I just had somebody the other night ask me about, or actually last night, about Cena. They bought a call. The thing moved 12%. They didn't even make no money. They lost money because they weren't in the money. They went too far out. You got all that volatility and premium stuck up in them. If it ain't getting pushed in the money, the event is done, and you're going to not make any money. You'll lose money.
Well,
and sometimes that can be a little disheartening, but hey.
Especially the closer you are to that expiration because of time decay.
Yeah, time decay. Time is your worst enemy with options. That's first and foremost, that the time is killing you right out the gate. It's kind of like buying a car brand new. As soon as you drive it off the lot, it's losing money.
Good analogy there.
Yeah, you like that, Sumo? That's my 3 a.m. analogy. I don't know how I came up with it so quick without stumbling.
Now we're going to look at the 645 calls, since Apple looks like it wants to make a run towards 645. If it can break that 645, these 645 calls will be in the money. Currently, the 645 calls are 77 cents. They were as low as 20 cents this morning, as high as 81 cents. Current spread 75 by 79. I took a stab and grabbed 4 contracts at 70 cents. Threw $300 at it. Why not?
Yeah, why not? This thing moves to, we know Apple's a beast. Let's just say Apple, this is purely speculative and hypothetical, of course. But if Apple was to move to 650 today, this 645 call, any way you cut it, is $5 plus. Because you're going in the money, $5. So it's 77 cents. Apple moves to 650 today, you're killing it. Even if Apple moved to 647, this thing's $2 plus. So now if it doesn't, this thing starts evaporating real quick. But yeah, keep that in mind. Trying to get pushed in the money. That's one way to price them. Price them before you get in. See how much of a move you actually have to make to get paid.
Wise words of wisdom from the options guru himself, Cifi.
I want to go that far. It's all about just going with strategy, discipline over conviction. Conviction will lose your money every time, because we're not always right. I don't care who you are, how good a trader you are. You are not going to be right every time. And if you're going with conviction, you're going to take a bath. Now, if you're going with discipline, you're going to take the loss and you're going to move on and you're going to hit your next play. And the discipline will keep you in the upside and get you out on the downside. So find your strategy, whatever your risk reward is, and rock it and stick with it. Don't ever change it. If a rule works, don't break it.
A wise broker once told me, plan your trade and trade your plan.
There you go.
You go into a trade, you know what you want for profits, and you know what you want to risk. And you don't lose sight of that.
Yeah, and plus, you get in on the right track, especially with penny stocks or options. When you're right and you hit that thing right before she booms, all you really got to do is pretty much hold on to your nerve so you don't sell too soon. So, I mean, the most important thing to me entering all trades is how much am I willing to lose? The upside is going to take care of itself, you know? Put the stop in place, put the trailing stop, whatever it is you do. But once that thing turns green, rule number one, the only thing that makes you look like a bad trader is if a stock or an option goes green and then you let it go red and then it turns into a bag, shame on you.
Don't let your emotions get in the way, folks. You can't get married to these things. Got to be very vigilant out there. Got to be on your toes at all times and just be ready to lock in profits and cut your losses. A smart gambler, when he walks into the casino, let's say he's got, like for me, for example, when I go to a casino, I tell myself, all right, I'm willing to lose $200 today. I'm going to go in with $200 cash in my pocket. I'm leaving the ATM card in my car, and if I lose that $200, I'm out of here. I'm taking off, and I'm going to go have dinner or something. And on the flip side, I go into that casino, I want to make $600 or $500 or whatever. Something, it's got to be reasonable. You know, you can't go in the casino with $200 and expect you're going to make 20 grand because that's not happening.
Oh, come on, Sumo.
Unless you get lucky and hit
10
a slot
bagger
machine.
in the sands? Sounds cool.
So either way, you go into that casino and you have that discipline. You cut your losses and quit when you're ahead. That's the only way to be a smart gambler, and that's the only way to do it in the stocks as well.
I always like to pick up, I mean, unless Apple's in a really bad downtrend, but I mean, this trading, it's all about the pattern recognition. I think we can all agree on that. All great traders recognize patterns, and then they go with the patterns over and over and over, you know, until the pattern breaks. So the pattern with Apple, which I always make sure I got at least $100 to $200 in Apple on a Thursday close because I'm looking for that gap. I mean, look at this 645 call. It's up 570%. Now, yeah, you could have got it at 20 cents today, so 400% gains even this morning. So you don't always have to hold those lottery tickets, but sometimes they don't pull back like that and give you those cheap entries. They just rock and roll. But I always get my little lottery ticket, and I'm willing to lose that $100 to make that 4 or 500. You know, that's what I like. You know, that ratio, 1 for 4 all day. You know, I like 1 for 10 even better. But hey, don't get greedy. What's going on in OTC world, Sumo? Is there anything out there with a 600% gain today?
You got this one HOMS. I don't know how much more it's got left in the tank. It's the promotion play out today. I've seen a few paid promos out on it, newsletters that got paid to tout it. Up 500%.
They should pay us to promo Apple. Hey, let's do a spotlight on Apple, Sumo. Haas ain't the only one that can do spotlights around here.
Uh-oh, Apple, getting ready to go through new high day. Oh, there she goes.
Go, baby. Let's go set a new 52-week high.
I had to pick up 4 more contracts on that pullback. I'm in there on those 645 calls with an average price of 67.5 cents. Currently, they're 85 cents.
There you go. And that leads me to another great point that we like to do here at STT Radio. I think about 99% of traders only want to buy the bottom or on the way down. But then as soon as, you know, they say that, but then on the way down, they're not pulling the trigger because nobody likes to buy something going down. It's the only thing in the world that people don't buy on sale. Apple goes on sale at the store. iPhone, you're running down there just as fast as you can, picking up as many as you can. Apple, the stock goes on sale. People don't want to touch it. But with that being said, I don't like adding to losers when they're going down. I actually rather pay to the upside on a breakout, you know. Yeah, it would have been nice to grab this at 20 cents, but in the big picture, if the move is going to be for real that day, obviously, since this is a weekly and expires today, I'm adding to the upside. I rather buy strength than weakness on these things. 9 times out of 10. That's just me, and the more you trade them, you'll understand why I say that. But these things literally, time and time again, me and Sumo have looked at these and go, oh my God, it's $1. I want to pull back. And at the end of the day, it's $5-6. So you always got to kind of, like we said, refer back to the underlying ticker and price it right. Most importantly, price it right. See if it's even in reality. And if it is, and you like it, and it's moving up, add to those winners, boys. Just like Sumo just did. Add into a winner on a breakout. Because it's looking cheap, 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 cheap.
Back at the high of day here. The 645 call, 90 cents up, just hit a new high of day. 95's going. And I'm getting ready to take some profits just to lock it in. I made a quick $550 investment. I make 35%, make a couple $100. You can't hate on that.
Nope.
I just got dinner for the weekend.
Nope, can't complain about that at all. Good stuff.
Wow, Apple rocking here. This is why we do what we do, folks. We do it the best.
And don't forget, hopefully on Monday, I know we've talked about it many a times, our STT live trading room is going into effect. You can go to our site at stocktraderstalk.com. All the information's there. You can get yourself signed up. You can trade with us live every day. Play what we're playing, trade what we're trading, enjoy 940% gains. Hey, just saying. Go there. StockTradersTalk.com. Monday, that's going to kick off, I do believe. Looking forward to it.
Heck yeah. I know it's been a process getting it there. Guys are ready to go. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, it turns out a lot goes into opening up a secured room. Big props to STT, the boss man. Hard working son of a gun, let me tell you. Nobody really gives that guy credit, but I'm going to give him a little credit and say, you the man, boss. We wouldn't be able to do it without you.
Absolutely. APDN on the penny scan. Moving up still. Last trade at 8 cents. The offer turned to 0.84. Over 1 million shares traded on APDN. Apple looks like it wants to get to that 650 mark by the end of the day. That'd be incredible.
Well, I believe the 640. I believe 644 is the 52-week high. Don't quote me on that, but that's what I'm thinking, anyways. I'm gonna go ahead and lock in this 645 call. I jumped in at 60 cents. Trading at this $1.22 right here. Take it. Took it. Now she can rock for everybody else.
Yep, I'm out as well. Put the sell in at $1.23.
I ain't done with you, Apple.
They filled me. I made a quick $407 profit. And we're not done. We're coming back, girl.
Yep. I know we've said it many mornings. Apple is so fast. I mean, so fast. Especially if you're playing the options. Don't even get off. Just stick to your 1 minute, 1 day. Have your, like we said yesterday, we got our 1 minute, 1 day. We got our 5 minute, 5 day. We got a 60 minute, 20 day. And we got a daily, 1 year, 100 day, whatever it is you want to look at, but just a daily chart. And
perfect example why we want to lock in those profits. This thing moves so fast. Boom, that.
Yep.
Back down. Man, I tell you what, people don't understand how we can do a radio show and trade at the same time. We're professionals. We've been doing this for as long as I can remember. since I was wearing diapers. I was like, I was one of those babies in the E-Trade commercials.
Oh, that's funny.
So we'll post our trades
Since
up on
I was
our board.
shitting in my pants.
We'll post our trades on our board later. We'll put some screenshots out there for those of you that don't believe it. We'll
we
put
got
it
some
out
non-believers out there? Don't make me break out screenshots. We went over this last time. I put out a post about a month ago showing what we did in May, because everybody knows May was a sell in May and go away, just like it always is. And don't forget, I got a saying for you here. Remember, sell in September. That's another saying, so we'll see if that holds true this year. But anyways, I put out the screenshot of all our trades. We had probably about 40 trades that were all multi-bagger option trades, and I had some people that thought I photoshopped it, or I don't know what they thought. Whatevers. But they were like asking me, what about the losers? And our response was, show us your winners first. We never did get a response back. So I put out the same challenge to anybody that does not believe. Hey, I'll show you my winners. You want to see my losers? Show me your winners. If they're better than my winners, I'll show you my losers. How about that?
That's a good one.
There you go. If your winners beat our winners, we'll show you our losers. I can tell you one thing. STT's losers are cut short because I am tight. You can ask the boys. Sell into strength and buy into weakness. I think they were trying to trick us when they said that. Well, man, it's been one hell of a show.
Yeah, I'm getting ready to get back to some trades, and we actually ran a little over today's show, but
yeah, it was
we're having fun.
Trying to give a little glimpse into the Apple world, showing it on the screen here, letting people see the way we rock, and it was fun being back on the radio with you this morning, Sumo.
Well, I'm glad to have you back, man. I really miss you. And next week, when the premium stuff gets going, I'm going to have to join you over there because, man, it's just a pleasure trading alongside you, boss.
Oh, man, you got to come in there. You think I can handle that room by myself? You better be there ASAP as soon as your morning radio show gets over. I'm expecting you and Haas to be there front and center, making money with me and the peeps.
As always, we want to thank all our listeners for tuning in and all the support that you give us day in and day out. Be sure to join us back next week, Monday morning. We kick things off for another hot week. STT Live, we're out.
You have a great and safe weekend. Aloha.
Thank you for listening to Stock Traders Talk Radio. All views and topics talked about on Stock Traders Talk Radio is solely for entertainment purposes. We are not professional financial advisors and always recommend you seek the advice of a professional financial advisor. Never invest in any stock featured on our show unless you can afford to lose your entire investment. The information contained on our show is based on sources which we believe to be reliable, but is not guaranteed by us as being accurate, and might not be a complete summary